Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
This is your wake up call.
I saw another friend talking and answering a few questions about grief and when it rains, their triggers. This is Yolanda. Yolanda has a very unique story about grief, and I just want you to take a listen to this, and I hope it helps you. Let's listen in. Let's sneak let's ear hustle and listen a little bit to what Yolanda has to say.
Losing my daughter initially affected me in a not so good way. I would say that um, for a minute there, I did not think that it was actually true. I kind of just kept putting it to the back of my mind, expecting that one day that she was going to come in. And then once I realized that she was not coming home, it took me to a very, very dark place, a place that I thought that I was going to lose my mind, a place where I thought that I didn't want to get up out of bed. I did not want to do anything. And I found myself going into a very dark, dark hole. And it was very, very hard. And grief and losing a child, because no parent should have to bury a child. As always should be the other way around, that children bury their parents. But the first effect with me was just numbness and unbelievable that it was happening. One of the things that trigger me is I can't have my phone to ring in the middle of the night. I would never forget 3:30 in the morning, August 27th. My phone rang, and it was her father calling to tell me he was on the way to the hospital and that she had been shot, but she was okay, that he thought it was in her leg, which seemed like eternity. He said, "You and your sister pray." But it seems like forever. He called me back and told me that she was actually gone. So one of my triggers is not being able to hear my phone go off through the middle of the night. One of my triggers is seeing certain foods or clothing. There are a lot of triggers for me. For my daughter, living with me for the 20 years that I had her. She was killed just a month and a half before her 21st birthday. She had just finished doing a birthday shoot that she was going to post for her 21st birthday. So there are a lot of triggers. And to be able to deal with all the anger and the hurt, the frustration of what happened, being mad, being angry, being upset, want to hit somebody, want to just the people that took her life and took her away from her kids. There's so many stages of grief. I found myself I had to get a counselor, a therapist, because if not, I would have slipped into a place and I wouldn't have been here for my son or my grandchildren. They are the reason that I get up every day, because this was a very hard blow to our family, and being able to put that more hurt on them would have been selfish. So I got up and I got a therapist, and it helped me. Although just past Sunday was 2 years, it kind of felt like the first. The month of August is very hard. October, her birthday, is very hard. Christmas, seeing her kids, it's just hard because she should be here. She didn't get to see her daughter go to pre-K this year. I'll never get to give her my wedding dress that I got married in. I never get to pass on the things that she's missed out because a coward took her life for no reason. How do I deal or cope with grief? In the beginning, like I said, Therapy helps. And to be honest, I can't tell you praying because I was so angry, and at times I couldn't even pray. I didn't know what to say. I was so hurt. So it's a hard day-to-day thing in coping and dealing with the loss of a child. For me, I've lost my grandmother. I lost aunts and an uncle, but to lose a child is heart-wrenching. And some days I don't want to get out of bed. This month, when I was off on the weekends, I didn't get out the bed. So there's different ways that I cope with it. I do think about the good times. I have recordings on my phone. I listen to her voice. I see her pictures. I talk to my grandkids pretty much every day. Her daughter is, looks just like her, and I have to remind myself. I call her Kayla, and her daughter said, "I'm not Kayla Gigi, I Kanani." So they are my reason for still being here, and just learning how to live differently, because my life will never be the same. So just learning how to live different, dealing with the things that goes on in my mind, staying in my word, praying now, affirmations. Just, I still don't just be around a lot of people and do a lot of things. I have a strong village that has prayed for me, people who I don't even know, and only God knows that I needed it. Her brother needed it. Her dad needed it. Her stepmom needed it. Her children, her grandparents. She had a host of people that loved her. And so the prayers of the righteous avail much, because that is what kept me here. That is how I deal and cope. And I just think about the good things that we had, the good times. And I miss her. I love her. And that will never change.
Wow. Wow. Another, as gut wrenching as these stories are, um, as sad as uh, they are equally as powerful because of the realness and the rawness uh, uh, of these conversations. Thank you, Yolanda, for the strength to share your story. That is a unique situation, losing a child. Um, Two things stood out to me. One was uh, when Yolanda said that it's a day by day process. Sometimes she doesn't want to get out of the bed, and it's been 2 years. Uh, and you know, sometimes she does. It's a day to day process, and for those who haven't lost anyone, you have to still understand it's a process and live different. You're never gonna. It's not gonna be the same once you lost someone. You're living different, and it's an interesting kind of walk. Wow. When she said that, when Yolanda said that, I was like, it's so simple, but that's powerful. You still living different. Yeah, because that person is not there. Such a powerful story. I don't even want to take away or add to it. Um, Thank you again, Yolanda. And we have more stories to share. So stay tuned uh, for part 3 of When It Rains, coping and dealing with grief.